Hey everyone! Thanks for joining us for our live bee inspection. Most of you probably know us, but if you don't, I'm Sam and this is my husband Dwayne. We're just going to go through a bee inspection. We've been beekeeping for it's either
4 years or so.
4 or 5 years. I'm not sure, but it's one of those. First off, we're going to just look at the difference between a honeybee and a wasp, because I find that a lot of people mix them up. So first off, this is your honeybee. She's got black and yellow stripes, but she's also very fuzzy. You won't see her. Hey Amanda, you won't see her around like picnics or anything. They're on flowers. This is where you'll mostly see the bees. And then here we have the wasp. This is what we see at our picnics that bug us. They can sting over and over again. This is a yellow jacket. This is not a bee. This is a bee, and if she stings you, she dies. And there's a bumblebee. Some side views. This honeybee has pollen in her on the back legs. She'll bring that back as food. And again, they're wasps. Hi, Julie. So there's the difference between a honeybee and a wasp. Whoa. All right. So we're gonna look at. This is what we're gonna see in the hive. Can you hold the camera for a sec? Okay. So here we have, this is brood, so there's baby bees under here. And up here it's lighter yellow, this is honey. So usually they'll put the honey and the pollen around the brood so they can feed the babies as they develop. So we're gonna be definitely looking to make sure that our queen's laying. If you get close enough, Dwayne, I don't know if you can see, there's little larvae there, developing in there. Quickly show you the stages of a bee. So it starts off as an egg, then a larva, and they're constantly feeding into these cells. And then here's the bee, the pupae. They cap it, and then he or she emerges by eating the cappings. One other thing I wanted to touch on is swarms, because we're coming into swarm season now. May is going to be the biggest swarm season. You might see a ball of bees in a tree or around your house. They're harmless. They have split from their original hive, and they're just scouting to look for a new place to call home, because they ran out of space in their original home. So they will leave probably within half a day, but they could be there for a day while they look, but they do leave. And so you'll be seeing that a lot, or hearing about swarms this month, I would say. Honeybees live in trees, and they make wax homes, like wax comb. And that's how they grow their babies and have honey and pollen in there. Now wasps, they often live in trees, and it's like on the outside though, it's like a gray, papery nest. So if you see that is a wasp nest. It's not a honeybee's nest. So stay away from those, and if you want to get rid of it, call pest control. All right, so now I'm going to start the smoker. We smoke the bees. So I put cardboard around the outside to so it doesn't gunk up. Put some paper in there to get it started. By the way, while you're watching, if you have questions, you can comment, and I'll try to, if I see it, I'll try answering them for you. And if I don't see it in time, I'll try answering it after I post the video. All right, so I put paper in there. Once the paper is lit, I'm going to put some pine needles. It's going to get real smoky, so when you have to move to the right spot. Pine needles, dried pine needles, they light well, they smoke a lot, and they smoke, like the smoke is cool, so it doesn't hurt the bees. I can smell it though. A lot of beekeepers have trouble keeping their smoker going. But I swear by just jamming the smoker with pine needles is the way to go. white smoke. There we go. So the reason why we smoke a hive, well, there's a couple theories. One is that the guard bees will send off alert signals when we go in there. Danger, danger. So smoke will cover that or mask that alert. The other theory is that they think there's a fire nearby, so they put their heads into their honey and try to gather supplies in case they have to leave. So they're distracted by trying to protect the hive. There we go, I see some flames. Alright, should be good. I'm gonna shutter. Kind of shutter. There we go. Perfect. I'm just gonna throw the suit on now. So right now we just have one hive that came through the winter. We lost one hive, we think probably due to mites. So yeah, we're hoping to get 2 or 3 hives. This hive was doing well. We checked it about 4 weeks ago and it was nice out. Yeah. 3 or 4, we should have honey in June or July if anybody's looking for local honey. I won't have too much, but I will have some. Most likely June, July, and then probably again in the fall, in September. Gotta stay hydrated, man. You got to stay hydrated. I found a hole in my bee suit, so I had to tape it. It is what it is. Alright. Back when we first started beekeeping, actually, I wore the full suit. I don't want to get stung. But Dwayne used to do it in shorts and like a tank top. Like just doing a whole inspection, grabbing in the frames.
I've been stung a few times, so I'm not as brave anymore.
So he's going to wear the suit today. So we're going to keep this smoker going while Dwayne gets suited up. Hi, James. Hey, Morgan, Vanessa, I see you. If you missed out, I was saying if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And I'll see if I notice them, I'll answer them as best I can. And then if not, I will answer them afterwards if I missed it. Hey, Ashley. Thanks for joining. All right, I'm gonna go take the smoker. Smoker's still going. Hey, Rebecca. Thanks for joining us. All right, so here's the hive. Our one lonely hive. Plans to have 2 more. And as you can see, the bees are buzzing. I see lots of pollen on their back legs. I don't know if anyone can see any of that. Hold on, Dwayne. So here I'm just gonna smoke the entrance. Hopes that smoke gets in there. And smoke the bottom. Give them like 30 seconds, let them know we're coming in. We are coming in, ladies. Whoa. Speaking of which, a hive consists of 1 queen. There's only 1 queen in a colony. And all the workers are female bees. And there's male bees, they're bigger, but they don't raise bees, they don't do the foraging. They are strictly born and in the hive just to mate with queens. Not our queen, but random queens in the wild. They actually, in the fall time, they get kicked out. The male bees will get the boot because they're just a mouth to feed, and they're useless. And they don't have stingers, actually. Male bees, they're fatter, bigger, and they don't have stingers, so they can't sting you. And the queen, so here we go. We got all the bees flying. They're like, what's going on? Let's see if I can get a better view over here. So I see lots of bees. Give them a little smoke. Tell them head on down. So men are useless, yes. In the hive, so yeah, that's what we took from that. So in the hive, the male bees are useless. So here's some bees close up. They're just chilling out. Yeah, the queen bee, she'll go out, she'll mate once. She'll go out. I don't know how they know this, so they go on like mating flights, right? And all the male bees will, not all the males, they'll also go out and they'll find her, and they'll mate with her. Oh, and then she'll stay in the hive for the rest of her life, which is a year or 2 or 3. So this is all honey. Beautiful. Honey, honey, honey. Nice light capping there. And they're flying. All right, so this is also honey. It's a little bit of like probably last year's honey. It's got a little bit of a darker color to it. And Dwayne right now is going to be looking for the queen. She's got a longer body and I think it's like a darker thorax. Oh, okay, I see a male bee. I'm going to try to get that male bee. So they're starting to raise male bees because this is when the queens are gonna start swarming, and they need someone to mate with. Let me see here. Where did that male bee go? These are all females here, people. Oh, right there. Okay, see that guy? He's got a darker, bigger body. Right there. That's a male.
Bigger eyes too.
Bigger eyes, bigger bum. That's a male bee. All right. Oh, this is nice, fresh honey. This is the bees' honey. These are called deep boxes. They got big frames. It's basically where the brood will be raised, and so all that honey is going to be theirs, and I'll add a honey box on top, and that will be honeybee extract. There's lots of bees, so this is real good. I'm hoping to split this hive maybe next week if I see the queens laying well. Okay, so that's a lot of pollen. I don't know if you guys can see at the bottom. It's yellow and orange. That's all pollen. So they're bringing it, and on that bee right there, its little legs, he's waddling. He's got pollen there. Yes, he does. Or yes, she does. Always looking for the queen. More pollen. Oh, another male. Males also have little fuzzy bums. Let me see if I can... Where's that male? Right there. Oh, they got little fuzzy bums. Can you guys see all the bees flying in the camera or no? In front of the hive? They're busy. Okay, there's a little bit of brood. It's, where the queen laid, and then all the rest of it's pollen around it. Again, we're looking to make sure the queen's here and alive. I have a lot more bees than I did 4 weeks ago, so I'm sure she's here somewhere. And if we look down in the bottom into the cells, we can find sometimes eggs. That's kind of what we're looking for as well. They're look like little grains of rice at the bottom of a frame. You see some? So down there, it looks like they attached some comb, and it broke. So that's that white stuff right there is a larva. I'll have to clean up that after.
Oh, we scrape it off the bottom of this.
Ooh, yeah. So when we clean up the hive, the frame, just kind of scrape off the extra wax. And just scrape right down. Keep it tidy. Otherwise, they'll kind of put wax and make everything attached to each other, and then it's a pain in the butt to inspect. Oh, a bee just landed on the phone. Just wanted to come say hi. We'll keep the smoker going. Give it a couple puffs. It's looking good. Ah! So many bees. This is not the better angle. I'm going back. Yeah, if you guys have any questions while we're doing the inspection, feel free. Okay, so we see more brood, which is capped, so they're older. Yeah, no queen yet. Hey, Justin. Hey, Russia. You see some eggs?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be able to capture it.
Yeah, I think it'd be really hard to see on the...
Right there. See in there? I don't know if you guys can see. There's like little curled pieces down there. That's eggs or like very young larvae. Just when it's like down on the bottom of the comb and it's curled, it's like 3 days old. How long after being hatched does it take for the bee to become full grown? Oh, bees actually all take different amount of times to grow. Once the egg is laid, a queen actually, I'm pretty sure, I'll have to double check, but a queen is born first at after 15 days after the egg, and then a female, like a worker bee, it's around 20. I'll have to double check again. And then a drone, which is a male bee, will take like 23 days from egg to being hatched. Once they're hatched, they have different jobs. So when they're first born, their job is to like clean up inside the hive. They feed the baby larvae. So they're called nurse bees. That's what they do. And then they graduate to like foraging bees. So they forage for nectar and honey. And then they do that job for a bit. And then there's also guard bees who protect the front entrances to make sure that there's no wasps or anything coming in. Yeah, so they just have different stages. I don't really know. They live, I think it's about 4 to 6 weeks during the summertime, because they just work themselves to death, right? So all that right there is brood. If we can find one being hatched, would be great. Got a little bee on our sleeve there. Why do we use a smoker? We use a smoker. There's a couple of theories behind it. One is that it masks the alert pheromones that the guard bees will set off. So it covers that. So intruders coming in, that'll get covered. They won't get that pheromone. The other theory, which is probably more accurate, is that they think there's a fire nearby, and then they put their heads into the comb to get honey, just in case they have to leave and find a new home. So they're distracted with being ready to vacate the hive. We got lots of orange and yellow pollen. So if the bees are on the frames and they're looking up at us, or they're on the top here and they're looking at us, that's when, like, see here, they're all kind of like looking up. Or they start buzzing a little louder, we'll give them a little puff of smoke just to send them down, but we don't try to use it too much. Is it hard to find the queen? For a lot of beekeepers it is. I find that I'm pretty good at finding her.
You better find it now.
I know, I gotta find it now that I said that. I haven't really been looking. But if I can, what I'll do is I'll look for eggs or a really young larva. And if there's eggs or a young larva, then there's a good chance she's on that frame or the one next to it. Also, the brood, like the ones that she lays on, are the middle frames here. These are usually honey. So most likely she'll be on one of these frames in the middle. But you can also mark a queen with a paint marker. I've done that one time. I'd consider doing it again. I don't stress out too much about finding her every inspection, because I can usually spot eggs. If I spot eggs, that means she was in the hive within the last 3 days. So if I don't see eggs, ooh, a little bee on my hand. I'm just going to show you off. How do I extract beeswax? That's a good question. So let's say, let me go over here while he's cleaning up this frame. Beeswax, it takes the bees so much more time and effort to make the wax from the comb. So I actually don't like scrape the wax and use that. But when I'm extracting honey, like for example, like from this honey here, I use a little capping fork and it just pulls off the top cappings. And in anything I make, like the massage oils or whatever, in the soaps, I use the capping wax. So that's really clean wax. Yeah, so what I do is I melt that down, I separate it from the honey and the water, I clean it up a little bit. And that's the wax I use. So I don't actually take it from, you know, any comb that they're using. I just take it off of the honey thing. Does the queen tend to leave the hive and will return? The queen leaves the hive one time. She goes and mates. She gets mated by many male bees. And then she goes back to the hive and that's it. She retires to the hive. She's filled up and I don't know, for her life, and she just lays eggs in the hive. She'll live, some beekeepers will actually kill their queen every year because a younger queen lays better, but we just let nature take its course. And if she's not laying well, the bees will know, and they'll raise a new queen and kick her out, I guess. So we let them do that on their own. How much does one bee make honey? I think it's a quarter of a teaspoon or a half of a teaspoon in its whole life. You can check that out. I'm not sure. It's either a quarter or a half teaspoon in their whole life. But there's thousands of bees. So one honey frame, which is smaller than these frames, holds about 6 pounds of honey. And then one of those big frames that we have in here, those will hold about 8 pounds. So we have 10, your fingers are all over bees there. When you have 10 frames at 8 pounds each, that's 80 pounds. So a lot of times I have to have Dwayne out here because it's just too hard for me to lift up. So he's gonna smoke them. They're gonna go down. Oh, I think I just saw a mite. I think I might have saw a mite there. Oh no, I didn't. So this is this, unfortunately, they attach the frames, and those are going to get scraped up, cleaned up. That doesn't happen throughout the year because usually they don't have time between my inspections to be able to build wax in between the frames. I usually inspect about every 2 weeks. I try to. If I missed a question, you want to re-ask it? Because I saw there's like 3 questions there at once. No, the bees aren't getting harmed here either. They're just being relocated. Well, except for those ones that were developing. I'm pretty impressed. Both these boxes are quite full. So I'm probably next week or in 2 weeks, I will take out some of the brood and put it in a new box, and they'll raise their own queen, and I'll have 2 hives going. So this is an end frame. It should have mostly honey. Yeah, some older honey. Yeah, it's all honey that's a little bit older. Probably from last summer. They haven't used it up. The queen's not going to be on this one.
No, I was just seeing if there's any wax.
Oh. Hey, Lauren. Thanks for joining us. We gotta find the queen. Okay, another pretty much honey frame. I hope Queenie's down here in this box. Ooh, some bright, rotate. There we go. Bright orange pollen on that little guy, little gal. Let's get a close up of her. Oh, I was just gonna get one of the little girl in my hand. I don't know, Dwayne, these ones seem less full. I don't know if the queen's gonna be down here. Yeah, give them a little smoke. Smoke me too. Sometimes you smoke your suit a little bit, just they stay off you. They're doing all right. They're not really bugging us. In the springtime, they're actually really quite not aggressive. They're too busy getting nectar and pollen right now from the dandelions, and I think I saw the cherry trees were in bloom, and the apple trees are about to be in bloom. We're surrounded by black locusts. They love that, so they're busy, and they don't really have too much to protect. They don't have too much excess honey. In the fall, they get a lot more aggressive. Aunt Josette and Kristen, I'm thinking June. I'm hoping June. This is more brood right there. So those will probably be born soon. And then that's all pollen all around it. We're getting a little pollen heavy. We don't want pollen to take up too much space because then the queen will have less space to lay. Should have been looking better. What if we don't see the queen? Got a little bee on my hand here. Ah, she flew away. She had pollen. No problem, Carrie. I really enjoy beekeeping, and I love sharing my joy for it. So I'm excited that people are here watching. You know, if it goes well, if people like it, maybe I'll do one of the honey extraction, or, you know, in a couple weeks I could do another one. Oh, pollen. Oh, he's cleaning. Oh, they're cleaning his little face. Keeping an eye out for queen. Lots of brood and pollen there. Okay, looks like we got some drone brood here, drone eggs coming up. Once they start building up, they're going to start raising the males to mate the queen. Okay, oh, is Queenie going to be on here? Okay, now I got to focus on finding Queen. Gots to find her. It's like a search and find. Lots of drone on this frame. Is tryphobia a fear of bees? I won't necessarily keep searching till I find the queen because we saw a very young larva, so I know she's in here somewhere. I would like to see her. We always love to find the queen. Here, flip it. But
She usually stands up pretty good.
Yeah, I want to show her just so like everybody could see her. You were looking pretty good on the other frames, Wayne? What? Oh yeah, I already answered that question. What if you don't find the queen? The problem is there was eggs up the top box, which makes me think she could be at the top box.
Well, we gotta move some around there.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of bees. They're taking care of the brood. Dwayne's kind of blowing at them to see them kind of move. Sometimes they'll they have they'll follow the queen, so she'll have like a little posse with her. So that's sometimes a way to find her. Another thing with inspections, you could do them every week. I try to do them every 2-3 weeks because there is a small chance you could hurt your queen, and then your colony could be screwed. You could buy queen from local breeders, but that's like $50-$60, something like that. If you want to buy bees, if you want to get like a small hive of like 4 frames, that costs about $200. And you get those from bee breeders. I am so sad about this right now. Where is the queen? This is all honey. This is all honey here. So it's nectar in there. They're going to fan it, and then once it's ready, they're going to cap it. And that's what you see in the other frames I was showing you, capped honey. This is not ready yet, so.
Gonna be on my face.
Gonna be on your face? Where? Got a nice little, oh, stay there for a second. A little visitor on Dwayne's thing. Basically what we're going to do now is put some of the brood down at the bottom. I really want them to be using this bottom entrance. They're starting to use it actually. Big old droney. Wait, where is he at? It's a game now. Can you guys spot him? I lost him. Oh, there's droney. No, I lost him again.
Yeah.
Oh, did I have him on the camera?
Yeah. It's almost the middle of the frame.
Oh, right there in the middle. See how he's got a big body? Yeah. If you people will practice marking drones with paint markers, like so they can be ready to do it on their queen if they want to mark her, because they don't have stingers, so you can pick them up and you don't have to worry about getting stung. The thing is, man, we saw brood. We might not have to do any changing. Just take out that front entrance. So he's gonna pop out that entrance. Got a little bee here with me. Where'd she go? I don't know. Did you say drones? Yes, I said drones. Those are the male bees. Yeah, I was gonna rearrange it so that more of the brood is on the bottom, so they, come into the bottom entrance more instead of the top. But there's a lot of brood in the top and bottom, so I don't think we need to rearrange anything. We're just finishing up here, but I think I'm gonna have Dwayne pull out a couple of the middle frames one more time just to see if we can spot that queen. Hey, Uncle Carrie. Look at all the little bee heads, everybody, popping up. They want to say hi to you. All the thousands of bees are saying hi, hi, hi. Some yellow pollen on that girl's legs, on the back of her legs. Seeing some orange pollen right there. Oh, look at this. It's like green pollen or something. Unless my camera, I just can't see. Like a weird yellowy green-ish. Cool. Yay, so we open up that bottom and we should hopefully get some bees be able to fly more freely. They can fly in and out of there, Dwayne? Like no problem? Or do we have to move it up a little bit? Okay. I'm not really worried about any bees robbing the hive at this point or any wasps because it's the springtime and wasps aren't really out. They don't survive the winter. I'm pretty sure it's just the queen that makes it through the winter. So if you see any yellow jackets out, it could be the queen right now. And then in the fall is when you get a lot of wasps because they had, were breeding all through the summer. And that's when you have to worry about them robbing the hive. And that's when we put a entrance reducer in so that only a couple bees can go in. It's easier to guard. So here's the entrance. I'm gonna start using this one more. Are they just wood frames or is there chicken wire between? So they're wooden frames. I use mostly, like it's a plastic foundation coated with wax. I coat them with wax because it makes they draw out comb easier. I've been switching some out. So I ran fishing wire. Like, I don't know if you're a beekeeper, but there's holes in here and I ran fishing wire. So there's 3 fishing wire and I didn't, I left it plain. So I let them draw their own comb out. And I've been doing that because I hear that they'll leave holes in spots for communication or for airflow. So I don't want to stop that from happening. I want them to do what they need to do. I know plastic, like they can't obviously build a hole through plastic. So I'm trying to, for the brood, I'm trying to make it so that they can do the wax how they want. But for the honey frames, I do the plastic foundations because it has to go through the extractor and get spun out. So if I didn't have it on plastic, then they would just the whole wax would fly out of the frames and yeah. We might not find the queen today. This might be a come back next time to but hopefully we find the queen. Yeah. Where is she? Come on. She's got to be on this one or the next one. If not, then we're just closing her up. I don't see her on this one. Come on, queen. Where are you, girl? Girl, where you at? I'm seeing drones for days. Actually, and for if you're a beekeeper or interested in beekeeping, I got the frames that are the foundation are black. I like that because I can see the eggs and I can see the larva at the bottom of the cell a lot easier. Okay, she's gonna be on here. She's gonna be on here. Let's go. I was gonna say next time I'll have to pull the frames and look, but we might not want that. Welcome, Tracy. Thanks for joining us. All right, flip it. I don't see it on this side. Don't see her. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry to disappoint. I don't think we're gonna find the queen today. I can't believe it. I can't believe I'm saying that. I was so focused on trying to answer questions and stuff. I didn't.
Hey, I've been looking too.
I know, but I usually find her. Oh, look at there. They're like, don't move. Don't move. See those two? They're swapping nectar probably in their mouth. That's what they do. They swap it between each other and they put it in cell. I don't know, the enzymes in their mouth or something. Turns it into honey. Oh, shoot. All right. Well, let's close it up. If I do another inspection, maybe that... I pull one more. Dwayne's got a party of bees on his head. Mostly honey. Sharks. Honey, a little bit of pollen in there.
There's some eggs in here.
Oh, Dwayne says he sees eggs.
A
lot of eggs. Keep a lookout for Queenie. Imagine someone spotted her before we did. That would be epic. I see her. Susan, there's actually like in the summer or in like a couple weeks, they are going to be booming. And there's going to be a lot more hives, or a lot more bees, sorry. This whole frame, every frame will be full. Just like this. Check the other side one more time. So Dwayne said he saw lots of, let me see if I can capture the eggs. Oh yeah, so let's see if we can get this still. Do you guys see at the, where's the sun? Do you see at the bottom?
This way.
This way better? Okay, do you guys see at the bottom of the cells? I don't know if I can see it in the camera, the quality. Anyways, there's little eggs there, which means...
Looks like a tiny little grain of rice.
Little grain of rice, yeah. So that means the queen was here, but she's moved on. We have failed at finding the queen. It's not a loss though, really. Like, we just want to find the eggs of the queen. All right, I want to close it up. Oh, you can get rid of dandelions if that bothers you, but I will say dandelions are one of the first sources of food for the bees in the springtime. So I actually get really excited when I see the dandelions are blooming. I'm just checking for the queen here. I don't see her. I didn't think she'd be on here. Lots of male bees, but... All right, closing it up. Hope you guys all enjoyed. Maybe we'll do it again. I didn't even need to do my pen thing here. Boop. There we go. All right, maybe we'll do it again in a couple weeks and you can see where maybe we'll do the split. I don't know. I get a little frazzled during splits because I got to figure out what frames go where. We got to definitely find the queen for a split because I make sure that the new hive gets the original hive queen so that the stronger hive will raise their own queen. So I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'll do a live video of the split, maybe I won't. Hopefully next time though, if I do it, we can find the queen for you. Thanks everyone. Say adios amigos.
See you later.